I hope that you'll forgive my background noise. I'm going to do a quick video per your request about in-text citations. So the first thing that you'll need to know is that there's sort of a rhythm to these. And you'll see this rhythm emerge as I go through these. So let's pretend that we have an author named Baker, Janice Baker. And you're always going to use the last name of the author instead of using first and last name or repeating titles. That is not good practice, so avoid that. So according to Baker, she said something important that I had to quote, right? Well, we have to tell the reader where we found that. So it's always going to end in whatever page you found it on. Now, this is in a page where you have pages. So if you don't have pages, what do you do? Like if you're on the internet and you're looking for something and you find Baker's article. Well, that one is very similar. This is if we pretend that this is, well, here, let's do it this way. So on this one, this would be a page, a book, or, other item. Sorry about that. It's getting late. That has page numbers, right? So there's that one. And then this one would be like a web page. Okay, so we've got according to Baker, and this is without numbers, without page numbers. Okay, so according to Baker, and let's do, this was a different one because it wasn't the book or whatever, and we wanted to quote, right? So what do? Well, if it's in paragraph number 5, it's paragraph number 5. If it's multiple paragraphs, it'll actually look like paras, and it'd be like 5 through 6. So it'll look a little bit different. Um, so the next one, if we're going to do, so these are just quotes, right? Notice that. So what if you're doing a paraphrase and you're mentioning the author? And of course, you're not going to always say according to. You can actually start your sentence with Baker. You can start your sentence with Baker 2018. But I'm just using it. It's called a leading phrase, and it helps you keep in your mind, hopefully, that when you are introducing the author, you do have the three components that you see here if you're using quotes, which is the author's last name, the date, and the page number or the paragraph number. So the next thing that we want to see, though, is what if we paraphrase, right? So we paraphrase something. Well, if we're going to paraphrase, which is really a summary of, say, 2 or 3 sentences in your own words. Now, paraphrasing is sort of a skill that you have to develop, and it's not covered in this video. If you don't know what it is, please look it up so that you know whether or not you need to document this in a certain way. So I'm going to pretend that I am paraphrasing something Baker said. So maybe she said something brilliant, and I'm like, whatever that is, right? I can't think of anything right now. So we're going to paraphrase it. Now, do you or do you not put a page or paragraph number on the end? The answer is do not. So you do not put the page number or the paragraph when you're paraphrasing someone else's words. Now you want to be careful here because paraphrasing really needs to have some fairly, it's sort of like if you can't use the whole quote, but you need to convey the idea type of thing. Paraphrases are about the same length of the passage or sentences that you chose. They're just in different words. Um, you're saying it a little bit differently for the purposes of getting your point across in your paper. Okay, so what do we do if this is what this tells you here is that you need the last name and the date, right? You don't need these. And it doesn't matter whether this is quoting from a book or a web page or whatever it is. So what do you do if you don't mention the author's name inside the text when you're actually communicating with your reader? Well, that's a totally different thing here. So if we're not mentioning Baker and we're talking about something important that we quoted, but we didn't mention her name, right? Then it's going to look, if you'll notice, we're going to take this one up here from page 4. Okay, so if you'll notice, there's some similarities here. And you just have to kind of pay attention to see the pattern. So what this one is I did quote, but I did not mention Baker's name like I did here. So I actually used a quote here, and I didn't use Baker's name. Now, if that's the end of the sentence, there you go. So the next thing, though, um, I'm sorry, I want to make sure this is punctuated correctly, at least in that part. It's the English teacher in me. So the next part, what if it's a paraphrase and you didn't mention the author's name? So say you've reworded something in the passage, it's about the same length as the original passage, and you have to document so that you avoid plagiarism. Then we're going to pretend that we wrote something right here, and then we're going to put Baker 2020, just because we're going to use this one as an example. And then we will not use a page number or paragraph number. So if I'm paraphrasing something here and I mention the author, then guess what? The date's not there. If I'm paraphrasing something myself, and not mentioning the author at all, but I did here, then you still don't have the page number or the paragraph number. So I hope that that helps. And there is a great source out there, if you look up Purdue OWL, that you can go and look for more of these. And I'm going to try to make some other videos for you because I think that this is one of the most confusing things that students come across sometimes. So I just threw this one up per request. I hope that you find it helpful. And feel free to leave questions. I'll try to answer them for you. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.